10 Americans held by Venezuela are now back on U.S. soil as part of a prisoner exchange. Venezuela also agreed to extradite the fugitive defense contractor known as Fat Leonard. He was charged in a massive Pentagon bribery scandal. In return, the U.S. freed Alex Saab, a close ally of President Nicolás Maduro, who is being held on money laundering charges.
Joining us now is Will Freeman. He is a Latin American Studies Fellow with the Council on Foreign Relations. Will, good to have you with us. So talk to us about the prisoner swap and why it plays a critical role in trying to help build some relations between the U.S. and Venezuela.
Well, it's a step forward. The release of the prisoners, the 10 jailed Americans, as well as 20 Venezuelan political prisoners and an opposition leader, is an accomplishment for the Biden administration in its own right. It's also a sign that Nicolás Maduro, the authoritarian president of Venezuela, is at least partly complying with the Barbados Agreement. That's a deal hammered out earlier this year by which Maduro has agreed to lay a roadmap towards elections in 2024 in exchange for the gradual lifting of U.S. sanctions. Now, that deal requires Maduro to do more than just release the prisoners, but this was one of the parts of the deal, and it's important that we see him following through. Now, the question that people are asking is if returning Saab was worth it, or whether the Biden administration actually gave up too much. I happen to think that Biden will still have leverage to keep Maduro moving towards elections in 2024. Let's not forget that the Maduro regime has millions upon millions in frozen assets held abroad. It's also an international pariah. Biden can dangle that over Maduro's head and I think get him moving towards elections still. They might and certainly won't be free and perfectly fair, but it will be a step towards some type of political resolution of Venezuela's crisis. I think that's important to remember.
So, Will, help us understand the perspective from the Venezuelan side, because it seems like that nation promised a lot to get Alex Saab out of U.S. custody. Why did they agree to this deal? Why is Saab so valuable to President Maduro?
Well, Alex Saab was and is one of the central figures in Maduro's inner circle. And the fact that he was extradited to the U.S. from Cape Verde in 2020 and then prosecuted was a huge blow. Saab was called by Colombian journalist Gerardo Reyes the super minister of the Maduro government. He laundered at least $350 million for that government, imported food to Venezuela that was sold at huge markups, generating vast corruption, even as the country went hungry. He was involved in illegal gold mining. He's been investigated for drug money laundering. So the list goes on and on. He's really a valuable operator who has a lot of information. I think the U.S. learned a lot of the information that he had to share. But I'm sure if you're sitting in Maduro's shoes, you want Alex Saab back in the country where he can't reveal any more secrets of how this authoritarian system works.
And for our viewers who maybe are less familiar with the players, I'll just point out that Saab was the one wearing white, Maduro in the blue suit, and before that we saw the U.S. The prisoners who have been released and are back in the U.S. custody. But Will, let's talk about what is actually even perhaps more at the core of these talks, which is democracy in Venezuela. Venezuela agreed to release 20 political prisoners and an opposition party leader as part of the deal to try and pave the way for fair elections next year. Maduro has made promises in the past that haven't been followed through on that front. So how likely is it that Maduro's government will actually have fair democratic elections?
Fair and democratic elections, quite unlikely. We have to remember Maduro's a master manipulator of negotiations processes. This is also an authoritarian country. Dictators don't usually give up power for nothing. The big question is how unfair will they be? And I think that's where we're really seeing the push and pull right now. A key question is, will Maria Corina Machado, the opposition's leading candidate, be allowed to run? Right now, that's very unclear. She is banned from running, although she's also somewhat appealed the ban. And it seems that maybe she's building some momentum towards actually being allowed on the ballot. Meanwhile, every serious poll shows that she would beat Maduro, by a huge margin. So it's a risky moment for the regime. I think there's many reasons that Maduro will not allow an entirely free or fair election. However, we've seen oppositions in other countries win even unfair contests. So that's not to say that some kind of election next year in Venezuela would be useless. It would allow the opposition to mobilize its voters, demonstrate their force. And I do think we can't rule out that some form of election would help shake loose the authoritarian regime that's consolidated in Venezuela. The alternative, Maduro cracking down, holding no election whatsoever, I can't see that as preferable.
All right, really fascinating to watch. We know you'll be keeping your eyes close on this as well. Will Freeman, thanks for joining us from Chicago.
Thanks for having me.